man, it's Travis Johnson again. I'm back on the teacher tips. I got a question about what grade should you teach? The grade you should teach is based off of your classroom management and patience level. Do not go into a setting where you're not used to children as in infants or toddlers. So if you're not ready for toddlers, you haven't been around needy kids, like you teach elementary school. Teaching elementary school is like people who like to nurture. They like to help kids blow their nose. They like to teach kids the basic levels of being humans, of how to tie their shoes, and they get cuts on their knees and put band-aids on. If you're not that type of person, don't be prepared for that. The lowest I taught was 4th grade mathematics, and I didn't like the schedule, and I didn't like, students they're really childish, but it does teach you a lot of patience, grow with you. I didn't like that because the students would like, I can go to the restroom then you gotta walk them to the restroom. You have to be responsible for them, even if they're responsible enough to go to the restroom on their own, which is okay, but that's just something I never was too keen on. Like, I'm not here to, hold your hand. You're in 4th, 5th grade. I'm not doing this. Walking them to lunch is cool, but you have to sit with them during the lunch. I wasn't too impressed. I ain't want to do that. That's just something that wasn't cool on doing. I wanted to sit eat my lunch in my classroom, relax, take my break. And I think when I was teaching elementary school, we didn't really have a planning period. It was like, you're really with them all day. I don't know how elementary school works now, but I think they switch classes once. They go from reading and writing to science and a math class now. So I think I had to teach 2 subjects. I had to teach math and science. So you're not prepared to do that too. Elementary school wasn't around for me. It was cool. It was fun. You get to go on trips with the kids. You get to see their facial expressions when they get, they learn something new, because they're going to give you all of their energetic ways. They come to the morning. You can bribe them with candy. That don't work too much in middle school and high school. The students who don't have the mental capacity to learn a certain topic, they're going to let you know, like, I'm going to sit right here, I'm not going to do anything, and I'm going to pout, I'm going to throw my fit, and I'm not going to do nothing, and nothing you can do about it. You can call their parents. Sometimes the parents might make them change their attitude, but sometimes it won't. I had the most fun teaching middle school. Middle school is around where the students know right from wrong, and now they're choosing to make bad decisions, or they're choosing to be aggravating, they're choosing to disrupt the class, or, they're still childish, but they're growing into the person they want to be. You'll start to see kids who play sports. You start to see the kids who are the nerds or the eggheads or the smartest one in the class. You start to see the teacher's pets start to grow, or you start to see the kids who actually have parents and they put their foot down on some of these kids. Some parents just don't do nothing, and they'll back up. They'll let the teacher just be the parent, take control of it, and teach their child how to grow up in a civilized manner. Like, that's not my job. Middle school was, like I said, it's more fun than elementary school. 'Cause I'm not built to babysit, 3rd and 4th and 5th graders. No, I'm not doing that. In middle school, you only have to teach 1 subject. I taught 7th grade mathematics. And it was actually, it was a challenge, because you started dealing with, I went to a predominantly white area. So that was my first time actually experiencing white kids. And not saying it's a difference, but it is a difference. But it's like all kids there are assholes. They still act like kids. But now you have snobby white kids who feel as if I don't have to do this. My dad is rich. I don't have to do this because I have a flat screen TV in my room. That's just the attitude that comes with it. And some of the parents, I came across my first racism with a white child. It was open house, and the child it wasn't doing her work. Well, she wasn't succeeding in class, and I called the mom and talked to mom. We had a discussion about her child, and I'm like, your child isn't, excelling as she should. The mom's like, well, we'll talk at open house. I'm like, all right. And when I called, when she showed up, she came to my classroom. She was like, oh. I'm like, oh, what? She was like, well, I'm sorry, I took you to be a white teacher. In my mind, I'm like, no, you didn't. But I'm not going to argue with you. I'm like, you talking? I was like, huh? Like, what did I do anything? She was like, well, I just couldn't wrap my mind around a black person teaching my daughter. I was like, huh? Like, what you just said? So you're saying that because I'm black, I'm not fit to teach your child? She was like, no, I'm not saying you're not fit. I just don't believe my child will learn well in this environment. What environment are you talking about? What are you talking about? And my principal is standing right here. He's white as well. And I looked at him for, like, you gonna tell her or you want me to tell her? If I tell her, it's gonna be disrespectful. So my AP, assistant principal, she's standing on the right side and she's black. I'm like, well, one of y'all better say something to this lady before I do. And principal was like, well, let's talk more about the subject later. I'm like, more about, man, you know what? I got it. I said, excuse me, if your daughter doesn't, you feel like your daughter can't learn in this environment, you can put her in another classroom. They have advanced classes. I have the standard-based kids. So evidently your daughter can't score high enough to be with the advanced kids. That's why they didn't put her in the first place. So they removed her from my class. They put her in the advanced classes, right? Failed terribly, miserably. The mom tries to, circle back and try to email me like, hey, my daughter isn't making it in the other classes. Is it okay for her to come back? Absolutely not. Keep her right in that classroom. Since I'm, this is the environment that you feel like your daughter is unfit to learn in because of the black teacher. No, your daughter can't come back. Let her ass stay right over there. First time I ever experienced that. And first time I looked at my administration like, damn, I don't got no help. I don't have no backup, from either one of y'all, black and white. Teaching middle school was an eye-opener because first time I actually seen rich kids come to school. I've never experienced that. I went to all predominant black schools growing up, and I've never seen kids that was like coming to school in Rolls Royces. The dad came to school, a parent-teacher conference in a Rolls Royce, all black. Now I see why the child acts the way he does. He feels as if nobody can touch him. He riding in the back of a Rolls Royce coming to a parent-teacher conference. The dad had a driver as well, so yeah, it was like, and then you have more active parents. It's nothing is wrong with active parenting. Like, the parents at a rich white school are going to reach out to you more, and hey, they're gonna be actively asking questions like, hey, this is this and that. Hey, I want this to happen. Hey, my child's grades are slipping. Is there anything we can do before it gets out of hand? Things like that. I enjoyed it. The environment, it was a little ride from my house. There's a commute to it, wasn't a little ride from my house. But as far as the middle school teaching situation, I coached football over there. I coached track over there. It was a real fun environment. The kids are fun because they're still in the mode of they don't know what school turns out to be later on. Like, they still they're bright eyed. They're like, oh yeah, they think the world is like milk and honey. Middle school is like, oh, you can mold them to be what you want them to be. And that's what I was trying to do, keep them in the mindset of, hey, stay in school. This is going to be fun. You're going to have a lot of fun in school, man. You can get really educated, and it's going to be your pupil. You can do what you want to do with it, make education, whatever. But then you run into some kids, they put in classrooms. So now there's no, there used to be a differentiation between ESC, and it's not now. They got them all in one class, standard-based class, all of them. And when I started teaching, they had deaf and hard of hearing, ESOL, which is English as a second language, ESC, and you have standard-based kids all in one classroom. So I had to wear a microphone around my neck to talk to the deaf and hard of hearing kids. Yeah. They teach you guys not to be sarcastic, but being a teacher is part of your personality. So if you're naturally sarcastic, it's gonna come out in your teaching. Middle school is a place where you can play back and forth between middle school and high school. It's like you can treat them as if they're old enough, teach them as if they're old enough, and hold them to that standard and hold them accountable. And be like, hey, man, you too old for this. You're the oldest in the school. Y'all 8th graders. You shouldn't be doing this. 7th graders still a little childish. A fart in the classroom and ruin the whole dynamic, your whole focus. Somebody fart, somebody gonna laugh. Everybody laugh. Then somebody else gonna fart. It's gonna be a competition. Now you done lost focus in the whole classroom. Their attention span is very short in middle school. They still like to have fun. Middle school is where they start to grow into the person that, what they type of person. You're gonna be a jock. It's just growing into the more of themselves. They try to fall into where they fit in. High school is where the rubber hits the road. These kids are the ones that are going into society, and you have to prepare them for society. So this is where I excel more, because I can give more to the high school kids, because I can prepare them for what reality actually is and what it's about to be, what they're going to see, how they can prepare for college, teach them the financial literacy tools and skills that are going to be used and needed. Push them in a certain direction where hey, you can make a bigger difference on your life by simply learning a new skill, going to college, becoming a firefighter, going to the military. Create discipline. You can create discipline out of these kids, and you have to start that in elementary school and middle school. That's great. You can start discipline in elementary school and middle school, but in high school you can't really teach discipline. You can just reinforce it. You know what I'm saying? Teach them how to recategorize. A lot of these kids are not capable of categorizing, prioritizing their life. Like, make your priority. You can teach them that. So they like, hey, nobody has ever taught them structure or discipline, so they don't know what's to come. So when you do that, they get a more of a aha moment, like, hey, I can do this. Okay, what's next? You can open their eyes to new pathways of life that they can go down. Like, you want to be a makeup artist? You like makeup? Girls like makeup. Wait, what about doing restorative art for a funeral home? Yeah, it's dead people, but they make more money than a makeup artist doing the same thing. You putting makeup on live faces, they're putting makeup on dead faces. They're making way more money at a funeral than people are making as a makeup artist and at Mac. You can open their horizons. You can expand their horizons to way more. A barber, you can become an electrician, a plumber. These are forgotten millionaire professions. Welding is still a good skill. You can expose them to everything that wasn't exposed to you. But if you're gonna be a young teacher, you have to be stern. You have to be focused. You have to be disciplined yourself. You can't discipline somebody else if you're not disciplined. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to say, I'm comfortable with who I am. So you got to be real strong in who you are. Because high school kids, they call it roasting, ranking, however you want to call it. That does happen. And you can structure your classroom. You can be a fun teacher, or you can be the strict military teacher. No, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. But then you won't get the most out of your kids when you block them from everything. But you cannot add so much fun into this classroom where learning can't commence. Learning can't happen at all. You have to be able to have some kind of personality for these kids to be able to say, hey, I like coming in this classroom just to talk to him, just to be able to express just the environment, just the environment in this classroom. I can sit here all day. Just to come in there. They ain't trying to do no math work, but they're coming there, just to kick it with you. And then that's when you incorporate school. Like, hey, you can do this. I have faith in you. I can incorporate. I can talk to you as if an adult, not talking to you as if you're inferior. I'm talking to you on the same level. See, elementary school and middle school, I can talk to kids on the same level because they're still childish. And these kids that's in high school are shortly about to be going into the real world, and you can prepare them for the real world because it's a monster out here. And that's my biggest, heartbeat, is preparing these kids who don't know anything about what's about to happen. It's something about to hit you in the face, and it's called life. The only thing I can do is help you create a steel jaw. I'm sorry. Create a steel jaw to where you get hit in the face, it ain't gonna hurt as much. You can take a hit and keep fighting, do things of that nature. These kids gotta be able to take punches, take blows, and be able to fight back. And life has a way of trying to knock your ass out. And I like to be able to prepare these kids for it. Give them as many tools, give them as many tips, give them as many helpful hints as possible. Sometimes you can walk them straight through it. But, these kids are to the point where you I gotta show you. They show me. If you can't show me, don't show me. If you can't tell me, don't tell me. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I don't want you to show me something that you can't walk me through. Step for step, hand for hand. They don't want to have to go and find it, which I get it. I almost feel the same way, but they have to be able to. You want something bad enough, you will find a way to go get it. You'll find out how to do it, how to make a way to go get anything that you want. And that's the trait that I like instilling in kids, because you gotta be like, hey man, I know it's tough out here. Everybody got their own little situation. And if you can be able to talk to these kids on a certain level, that's why high school is, it's more of a choice to go and teach high school, because you have to have that already in you. You have to be a person that's willing to say, hey, I'm gonna hold your hand through this. Now, at some point, I can't hold your hand no more, but I'm gonna prepare you for what you need to be preparing for. I'm gonna get you right as much as possible. Now, you gotta want it. If you don't want it, I can't want it more than you do. Yeah, man. It's high school is a certain sanctuary. People can't teach high school because if you're a young teacher, these kids ain't got no filter. They don't have no filter. They'll try you. They'll say something to you. Hey, what's up? How you doing? I said it before in the last video. These kids, they'll run at you. Like, what? You a little girl, man. Get the fuck out of my face. The boys, they run at young teachers. But you got to be strong in who you are. Like, let's get, hey, disrespectful. Matter of fact, referral. But some teachers open that door. Someone open that door and they end up losing their job or career and going to prison or jail, whatever you want to call it, because of a dumb decision. That's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. You didn't mistakenly text this kid. But no, you're a pedophile. Like, you're a predator. Why no. Bribery, they'll try to bribe you for a grade. No, I don't want no money. I don't want nothing from you for a grade in my class. No. Deal with the grade. That's it. I don't have nothing to talk about. That's it, man. But those are my takeaways from teaching elementary school, middle school, and high school. I might be able to come back on and teach you guys about my profession and teaching college. But I don't know. I don't want to teach college. Because you're just doing work on the computer and they're grabbing the information from you, which is not bad. It's easy work for me. But you want to make an impact on somebody's life. These kids are going to remember these people forever. They see me 180 days. And even after they graduate, they'll call back and be like, they'll find a way to get in contact with you and say, hey man, nice to hear your voice again, man. You're a great person. I just wanted to say thank you. Or they'll come back to your school, come back, run your class. What's up, Mr. Johnson? How you doing? I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Not most time, mind you. I don't remember their names because I had so many students, but I do remember the face. You feel me? And I bring it up in conversation. You had a brother went here, didn't you? What's your brother doing? You do this to like that, and then they're running into what's your brother's last name again? Most time it'd be the same last name or a different last name. They won't know. They don't know what you're doing, but you just like, and then you like, oh yeah, I remember you. Now you run into it. Might hit your brain a little bit, you know. And they like to go down memory lane and talk about their class, you know, and the situations that happened in class and how you affected their life, and they like to tell you about their life and how they're moving forward, which is great. That's awesome because you're not in the bottom percentage of the people who aren't doing shit with their life. You're in the top. You working. You're going for it. You ain't gonna quit her. I don't like people around me who quitters and who promote mediocrity. I hate it. I hate mediocrity, and I try not to invite that in my classroom. I'm getting it out the way. Quitters, mediocrity, laziness. I tell my students, laziness creates homelessness. And they laugh every time I say it, but I mean it. But hey, see you guys later. Peace.